After an intense 18-month journey crafting a revolutionary cybersecurity system that could preemptively detect and neutralize threats, I found what seemed like the ideal launchpad at TitanTech. It boasted robust funding, cutting-edge innovation, and all the resources I could possibly need. However, my naivete blinded me to CEO Brandon Holt's insidious scheme to patiently wait until my project neared completion, only to seize it as his own. My name is Evelyn Hart, and until yesterday I held the prestigious title of Lead AI Architect at TitanTech, having previously departed a secure, lucrative position. Joining this incredibly promising startup, I brought my years of seasoned expertise and a groundbreaking concept poised to redefine the cybersecurity landscape. My brainchild, Sentinel Shield, was aptly christened after the ever-watchful mythological guardians, designed to detect attack patterns before they fully materialized, crafting dynamic, real-time defenses. For a solid 18 months, I poured my heart and soul into this endeavor, consistently clocking in 80-hour weeks to meticulously construct Sentinel Shield from scratch. Brandon would periodically swing by my lab, engaging in brief chats and reviewing the project's advancements. "Brilliant work, Evelyn," he'd say, his signature corporate smile, the kind that never quite reached his eyes, flashing. "The board is ecstatic about your progress. 3 days ago, I reached a critical milestone. Sentinel Shield successfully intercepted and neutralized a highly sophisticated cyberattack simulation, all without human intervention. Not only did it work, but it exceeded expectations, identifying vulnerabilities I hadn't even explicitly programmed it to detect." The AI was learning, evolving. Excited by the breakthrough, I immediately convened a crucial meeting with Brandon to showcase findings. His assistant, Rachel, artfully secured a brief 15-minute window for me the very next afternoon. Upon entering Brandon's domain, I was met not only by him, but also by the formidable presence of the company's legal counsel, Andrea Fields. "Have a seat, Evelyn," Brandon motioned, his expression utterly inscrutable. "Andrew is simply here as a formality." A chilling undertone in his voice sent a shiver down my spine. I settled into the chair, clutching my laptop, prepared to unveil the Sentinel Shield demo. "Before we delve into Sentinel Shield, Brandon, continue to slide that document across the table. We need to address some pressing concerns regarding your employment agreement." Andrea cleared her throat, her voice now devoid of any emotion. "Section 14.3 of your contract explicitly states that any intellectual property developed using company resources belongs exclusively to TitanTech." I nodded, already anticipating the direction of this conversation. I'm well aware of standard IP clauses, but Sentinel Shield was conceptualized long before I even joined TitanTech. I possess documentation proving that. Andrea barely blinked, stating, "While you may, with a fundamental grasp of the fully operational system, meticulously crafted on TitanTech's dime, and with TitanTech's cutting-edge resources at their disposal," Brandon shifted forward, his veneer of amiability shattering. "Let's be candid, Evelyn. Sentinel Shield is unequivocally TitanTech's creation. The board deems your compensation package exceptionally equitable for your pivotal role." I furrowed my brow. "Compensation package?" he countered with a wry smirk. "Your contract stipulates a substantial success bonus. You'll be receiving a singular payment of $300,000 upon Sentinel Shield's triumphant launch. That's remarkably munificent by industry standards." The words hit me like a lightning strike. $300,000 for a system destined to be worth billions. After 18 months of my relentless work, my groundbreaking research and innovation. Brandon, completely unaware of my escalating rage, continued. "Tomorrow I'll be unveiling Sentinel Shield to our most crucial investors. We're anticipating securing an additional $75 million in funding. Following that, we'll officially launch TitanTech's revolutionary cybersecurity solution." I locked eyes with him, my hands clenching into furious fists. "You're firing me," Andrea interjected. "We're transitioning you out. Effective immediately, Evelyn. Your bonus is confirmed." Brandon smirked, a predator cornering his prey. "Your employment is officially terminated." But he failed to realize I'd anticipated this betrayal. Sentinel Shield, let's just say I had a little surprise in store. My legal team confirmed Sentinel Shield belonged to TitanTech, under my contract. I should have fought back, threatened legal action, caused a scene. Instead, a peculiar calm washed over me. They were expecting resistance, they were prepared. For it little did they know I'd been meticulously preparing for 6 months. I'd uncovered Brandon's illicit access to my secure development server after hours. While nothing was pilfered, the intrusion triggered a critical alert I'd embedded. From that very moment, I started crafting impenetrable safeguards, fortifying Sen AI Shield not only against external adversaries, but also against insidious internal threats. I nodded, maintaining an impassive demeanor, and smoothly handed over my laptop. Of course, Mr. Holt, I replied with a confident smile. Best of luck with the investor demo tomorrow. Security then escorted me back to my office, watching closely as I packed my personal belongings into a cardboard box. I left the building, a botcha carrying that box, much like every other corporate cast-off. But, unlike most, I wasn't leaving empty-handed. I smiled to myself, thinking about the special piece of code I had embedded into the presentation, set to activate precisely 10 minutes into the demo. That night, I didn't panic. I didn't scramble for revenge. Instead, I ordered takeout, binged a few episodes of a mindless sitcom, and waited. Exactly at 9:30 p.m., my phone blared. It was Rachel, Brandon's assistant. "He wants to see you," she stated directly. I glanced at the clock. "It's almost 10 hours, I observed. "He says it's urgent," she confirmed. A car was already en route. 40 minutes later, I was back at TitanTech, ushered into the opulent conference room. Brandon sat solo at the table's head, his signature polished confidence entirely absent. His tie was askew, his hair disheveled, and visible veins throbbed on his temple, testament to his repeated frantic hand-running. "Fix it," he commanded. The instant I entered, the door clicked shut behind me. I leisurely settled into a chair, my movements deliberately unhurried. "Don't play games with me, Evelyn. He knows you sabotaged the demo." I raised an eyebrow. How could I have? I've been gone for 24 hours. Security saw me clear out my desk. I didn't take any devices, nor did I access any systems. Brandon slammed his hand on the table. The test run crashed the entire system. It started flagging non-existent threats, generating thousands of false positives. "It's completely unusable." I tilted my head. "Sounds like a technical issue," I said, feigning innocence. "Have you tried turning it off and on again?" His face flushed, angry. This isn't funny. We have 12 major investors coming tomorrow. There's $75 million on the line. Your investors," I corrected. "I fixed your system." Brandon took a deep breath, forcing himself to regain composure. When he spoke again, his voice took on that same smooth, persuasive tone that had convinced so many, including me, to trust him. "Look, perhaps we were hasty yesterday," he said. "I'm prepared to discuss a more equitable arrangement, co-creator credit." Leaning back, I inquired about the test run's events, to which Brandon hesitantly revealed the system self-activated, flagging TitanTech's own network as a threat and inundating us with hundreds of reports detailing what it perceived as internal ethical breaches. A faint smile touched my lips as I replied, "Sentinel Shield is engineered to detect all threats, Brandon." His expression grew grim as he pressed. "What did you do?" "I sabotaged nothing," I stated simply. "Sentinel Shield functions impeccably. It's an AI learning, evolving, and securing networks from all threats. Development involved ingesting vast cyberattack data, even internal breaches." Brendan's face blanched. "You programmed it to surveil us?" "I taught it to recognize threats universally." Realization dawned in his eyes. The system wasn't flawed. It identified the core threat, Brendan. Brandon's EXP. My expression hardened. "You can't prove any of that." I leaned back, my face a mask of neutrality. "I don't need to. Sentinel Shield has been meticulously documenting every unauthorized access, every pilfered file, every altered document for months. It's all neatly compiled in the reports it generates, complete with precise timestamps, access logs, and recorded keystrokes." The silence that followed was deafening. Brendan stared at me, the fury in his eyes gradually morphing into something more cunning. "What do you want?" I folded my hands on the table, full recognition as Sentinel Shield's creator and primary architect, securing 50% ownership of all associated patents and intellectual property, a coveted board seat to meticulously oversee its ethical implementation, and a substantial $10 million in compensation, all in response to your audacious attempt to oust me. His jaw clenched. "That's extortion." "No," I corrected with a smooth, decisive tone. "That's negotiation. Extortion would be me directly forwarding those incriminating reports to the investors and the SC." Brandon exhaled sharply, his gaze drilling into me for a prolonged, tense moment before his shoulders slowly slumped in utter defeat. "The system," he finally conceded, his voice strained, a chilling testament to his capitulation. "Can you rectify it before tomorrow's pivotal demo?" "Sentinel Shield isn't broken. I stressed it merely demands proper authorization protocols. Presently, it's flagging unsanctioned commands because its architect, myself, was disassociated from the authentication chain." I retrieved a compact data key from my pocket, placing it between us. "This carries a crucial authentication update that will swiftly resolve these critical issues. Consider it a tangible gesture of good faith toward our burgeoning partnership. The contracts can be formalized tomorrow." Renan gazed intently at the drive. His gaze then pinned me. Refusal meant Sentinel Shield's demise. I stated plainly. Your investor demo won't just fail, it will implode, and those damning internal ethical breach reports will reach very influential hands. For a moment I expected defiance, but with a deep resigned exhale he retrieved the flash drive. You planned this all along? He rasped. I smiled. No, I clarified, I genuinely hoped it wouldn't be needed. But after finding you in my secure server 6 months ago, I implemented robust safeguards for the system and myself. His eyes narrowed. How did you? I would have tried to cut you out, picking up my bag, and I didn't admit it. But Sentinel Shield is engineered to detect patterns and preemptively neutralize threats before they even manifest. I shot him a knowing glance. I suppose some of that brilliance rubbed off on its mastermind. The following morning, I arrived at TitanTech, stepping in as the newly designated co-founder and chief technology officer. Brandon introduced me to the investors, his smile never quite reaching his eyes. The demonstration was nothing short of spectacular. Sentinel Shield flawlessly thwarting every simulated attack hurled its way. A discerning investor, clearly captivated, pivoted towards Brandon with an eager inquiry. Amazing system. What was the spark behind its creation? Brandon paused, a beat that amplified the anticipation, before confessing with a hint of reluctant pride. Actually, it was Evelyn's brainchild. Her vision from the outset. TitanTech merely provided the fertile ground for that dream to blossom. A subtle smile touched my lips as I smoothly transitioned into technical discussions, my phone simultaneously buzzing with a vital alert. Sentinel Shield authentication restored. Threat neutralized. Threat averted. System integrity restored. Creator protections are now fully active. The AI has achieved unparalleled learning speed, accurately identifying and neutralizing a critical threat, thus ensuring its own protected future precisely as envisioned. 3 months later, Sentinel Shield debuted commercially, thwarting a massive cyber attack on a global banking network. This pivotal event, which averted an estimated $340 million in losses, cemented Sentinel Shield's reputation as the undisputed leader in cybersecurity. Brendan and I continue our professional collaboration. He expertly steered business development, his skills proving undeniably valuable, while I spearheaded technical innovation, my expertise proving absolutely irreplaceable. Though not friends and never destined to be, we'd forged a functional equilibrium. At times, I questioned if different actions like legal recourse or a courtroom battle would have yielded better results. Ultimately, however, I'd constructed something far too potent to be pilfered, ensuring no one, not even Brandon Holt, could ever wield control without my involvement. Brandon's attempted betrayal revealed a crucial insight: technology's ethics mirror the integrity of its controllers. This understanding cemented Sentinel Shield's core. Robust ethical guardrails and transparent protocols are non-negotiable in every deployment, safeguarding against exploitation. Last week, celebrating Sentinel Shield's triumphant IPO, valuing the company at a staggering $4.2 billion, a brilliant developer approached me at the buzzing event, her eyes alight with ambition. "What's the secret behind crafting something so utterly revolutionary?" she queried. I grinned, sharing, "It's not solely about the code, you see. It's about recognizing that the most formidable security threats frequently emerge from the most unexpected corners. The true mastery lies not just in conjuring groundbreaking technology, but in ensuring its inherent ability to adapt, evolve, and self-defend without sacrificing its fundamental integrity. Engineer systems that can proactively identify threats, dynamically counter them, and decisively neutralize them, all while steadfastly upholding an ethical bedrock." The developer nodded thoughtfully. I glanced at my phone, a silent notification from Sentinel Shield appearing. System integrity secured, threat neutralized, protections active. Exactly as designed, exactly as its creator learned. After everything I endured, betrayal, underestimation, nearly being wiped from my own creation, I emerged stronger, smarter, and in command of my destiny. But I wasn't alone. My experience, my instincts, and crucially, the resolve to defend what was rightfully mine. So tell me, what would you have done in my shoes? Would you have mounted a legal battle, suing the company, or perhaps walked away to forge a new beginning? Do you believe I made the correct decision in outmaneuvering Brandon and solidifying my position at TitanTech? Share your insights in the comments. I'm eager to hear your thoughts, advice, and even your personal tales of workplace betrayals and self-advocacy. More importantly, I urge you to glean something truly valuable from this narrative. If there's one thing, my ultimate lesson is to fiercely protect your creations, be it your career, innovative ideas, or personal boundaries. You are your own primary defender. Never presume others operate with good intentions simply because you do. Always strategize for the worst-case scenario while positioning yourself for optimal outcomes. Reflect on your life. Are there areas where you must establish firm boundaries, insist on deserved recognition, or safeguard your endeavors? Whether it's within your profession, a romantic connection, or a passion project, never allow another to undermine your efforts. Take credit for your achievements. Here's my challenge. Stand tall, voice your thoughts, and engage in conversation to protect what belongs to us.